Tip Top bread is one of Australia's most well-known brands. The old "Good on your mum, Tip Top's the one" jingle is legendary. But the feel-good image of the company might take a battering tonight, with the drivers who deliver its bread in New South Wales accusing Tip Top of pushing them to breaking point. They say lower pay is forcing drivers to work crazy hours to make up lost income, and they warn that extreme fatigue means a serious accident is just a matter of time. The drivers risk losing their jobs by speaking out tonight. Elise Worthington has their story.
It's 2:30 a.m. and the streets of Sydney are deserted. Graham Wong has already been up for 4 hours delivering bread for Tip Top. It's a solitary job with plenty of time alone to reflect.
One morning there, I knew I'd just hit rock bottom. I was sitting in the car park in the truck at 3 o'clock in the morning and contemplating what I was even doing. And I didn't know what to do. I called Lifeline.
Early last year, Graham Wong had just 2 days off in 15 weeks. Did Tip Top know that you'd worked more than 100 days straight?
Absolutely. I made that quite clear that I didn't have a relief driver. I had to work consecutive days like that. They knew. No, I wasn't in very good shape at all.
Graham says he couldn't afford a relief driver because his bread delivery business was going backwards.
I look back at the figures and I was earning over $1,000 less a week from when I first started. In 7 years, the money went down by $1,000 a week, but the costs, everything goes up. The price of tyres, servicing, fuel, wages, insurance, everything goes up. Nothing ever comes down. So, I ran out of money, so I had to sell my truck. I still had 6 months of truck payments left.
After cutting his losses, he's now a casual driver for his mate John Kiernan, who's concerned his business is headed the same way.
I love going to work. I've worked all my life, but now for the first time in my life, it's just a big effort to go into work. The feeling in your guts, the knots, and panic attacks I get. It's like a heartburn,
Do you know who this is crossing the road with a basket on his arm? It's the baker, and he's bringing a loaf of bread.
Bread delivery was once seen as an essential community service. In the 1950s in New South Wales, bread truck drivers were well paid and had little need for industrial protection. So they weren't covered by the New South Wales Industrial Relations Act, which protects other drivers.
So this historical void of regulation continues on from the 1950s and into the 1970s and to date. So they sit in a regulatory black hole.
These days, the bread delivery game has changed. It's a high-volume business on an industrial scale.
People like these owner-drivers had really limited bargaining power as single operators with their own truck, really unequal to large corporations in bargaining power.
Good on your mum, Tip Top's the one, good on your mum.
Tip Top, owned by George Weston Foods, is the second largest player in the Australian market. It owns a suite of household names including Tip Top and boutique brands Bergen and Abbott's Bread. Tip Top drivers are paid per loaf or unit of bread delivered to supermarket shelves.
Well, I'm on 14.9 cents per unit.
And I'm on, I think it's 17 cents a unit.
We do exactly the same job.
It's up to each driver to negotiate individual contracts. Mark Goldfinch says he's delivering more bread but earning less money.
Oh, so go back about 10 years, I was doing 10 to 11,000 units a week on 3,400. Now, I'm close to 18, 19, 20,000 for an average pay of 2,900.
So why has your pay gone backwards?
You can ask that question as many times as you like. There is no answer.
There is no excuse.
There is no excuse.
Drivers have been pushing for change for years with protests over pay cuts. Now they've had enough. Paul Clapson and Mark Goldfinch say they've been pushed to breaking point.
You either walk away from the truck and lose your house, or work as hard as you can to keep the truck and keep turning over, and then, as it's happened, blokes have lost their families over it.
Look, I'm 6 days a week. I haven't had a decent holiday for 8-9 years.
They're at New South Wales Parliament to watch Labor MP Greg Warren deliver a private member's statement on their behalf.
The House is dealing with private member statements. I call the member for Campbelltown.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to speak about a serious issue affecting a significant number of honest, hard-working truck drivers in my electorate of Campbelltown. These drivers, who I've chosen not to name, have been experiencing some very serious and troubling issues with Tip Top that have seen their pay and conditions deteriorate very rapidly.
Thanks for coming. Yeah, well, thanks for taking the time to catch up with them.
They want the law changed to let them access the Industrial Relations Commission. They're here with an unlikely ally, retired New South Wales Liberal MP Charlie Lynn.
But it's also the corporate morality of this. I mean, these blokes are being exploited. These people know they've got them. They know they have no representation. They know they're vulnerable. They know they don't have the resources. And it's just in today's society absolutely morally wrong.
For me, this is about ensuring that everyone, every worker, every contractor, every truckie, regardless, has that same level of protection by law.
Independent contractors are uniquely vulnerable, and it could be changed with a stroke of a legislative pen. It just requires the political will to do so.
It's not just financial pressure these drivers are under.
There's also the major safety issue. And because we aren't getting paid what we probably should be, your maintenance goes on your truck, you become a problem out in the road. If you're tired, you can't put drivers on. There's a whole range of issues.
Do you think that all the trucks there are roadsworthy?
All of them, no. No way in the world.
During a recent shift, Graham Wong was alarmed by the state of a replacement truck Tip Top management suggested he drive.
No instruments worked on the dashboard, no speedo, no fuel gauge, we just had to guess. We thought, all right, we'll go and put $30 worth of fuel in and I'll just drive slow. We didn't have a choice, really. That was the truck that was available.
I just don't want this to happen to anyone else because I'm afraid that someone's going to die eventually, Someone will.
In a written response, Tip Top said it prioritises the health and safety of drivers and complies with the government's strict regulations covering fatigue management. It also said contracts are commercial in confidence but are designed to ensure drivers are paid above the relevant awards. Late today, the state government said it will explore the issues raised by drivers, including the possibility of legislative changes.
What are you guys putting at risk today to talk to 7:30?
Probably everything. But this appears to be the last stand for us.
Well, I'm risking my whole future, my family's future. I'm virtually bankrupt nearly.
At the end of a long night, Graham Wong is finishing his run. It's too late to save his business, but he wants other drivers to get a fair go.
You feel like you have to work just for your survival because you're going broke. That's when it becomes really hard because you don't have a choice.